Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham were no strangers to the music scene when Mick Fleetwood found them in Los Angeles in the early 70s. They had played in a band called Fritz in the late 60s and had supported some of the biggest names of the era. They had suffered the internal tensions that bands inevitably go through and had split from Fritz to make a go of it alone in Los Angeles. They had found in each other not only a musical voice, but a love relationship that would drive the two of them to create some of their best music. And they had released an album of those songs only to see it sink out of sight with nothing to show for it but a provocative album cover and a following in Birmingham, Alabama. Stevie was working as a waitress while leaving Lindsey the time to hone his skills, but fate was about to deal them a significantly better hand.
It's a great story how Mick happened to be in the studio and happened to be hearing their record being made and thinking, I wonder if they'd like to join my band.
They were looking for a studio. Mick wanted to hear what the studio sounded like, and he pushed a button and out came the voice of Stevie Nicks. And he said, wow, never mind the studio, give me her phone number. He only wanted Stevie Nicks, he didn't want Lindsey Buckingham. But Stevie said, uh-oh, no, both of us or none of us. The rest is history.
It's impossible to imagine something like that happening now, and also just how desperate were Lindsey and Stevie that they accepted the offer from this, as it were, has-been English blues band who not many people had heard of. And there must have been some kind of magic in there, and I guess you can hear that on the record. The first Fleetwood Mac California-style record that's called simply Fleetwood Mac is a wonderful, wonderful record, I think, and my guess is that it slightly took them by surprise as well.
Fleetwood Mac was about to become something very different from the British blues band that was its roots.
They went from Fleetwood Mac Blues Band to Fleetwood Mac Rock and Roll Band, with, you know, Fleetwood Mac Blues Band selling 300,000 records to Fleetwood Mac Rock and Roll Band selling 4 million records on their first outing. The whole sound that these 5 people produced, that really catapulted them, particularly with Mick and John driving it all the way.
The first musical venture for the new group was simply titled Fleetwood Mac. It was an album that would change forever how the group was viewed and would put Stevie Nicks over the top in terms of who the fans identified with.
She does what she does, but underneath it all is a very calculating individual who was going to be a huge star.